Hello, 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 Hidden Hermit here, having a look at the Judgment card from the Waite. Now, the Judgment card from the Waite system is an image that doesn't particularly enamour me, if you like. It's not an image that I think gives the vibe of the Judgment card its true justice, if you like, and I'll tell you why. So, the Waite image, yes, we all know that it's not the first tarot deck. But it is potentially one of the most important. A lot of the images have been copied, aped, and rightfully so in lots of different tarot decks. A lot of contemporary systems, they copy this image. The Judgment card, however, it relies mostly on Christian symbolism, which doesn't sit well with me in lots of ways. So the Waite images, they're informed by many different things. Both Arthur Waite and Pamela Colman Smith were members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which had their own instructions on how the tarot deck should be portrayed and illustrated. Takes these archetypal images and mundane images from lots of different systems, so Kabbalah being the big one, which is rooted in just Jewish mysticism, astrology, numerology. There's a lot of Eastern things going on there, a lot of Egyptian things. However, Judgment is purely Christian, I believe. Well, it could be argued that the idea of the rapture, it comes from many different religious beliefs, but this is very much a Christian ideal image, if you like. It is worth to note that both Arthur Waite and Pamela Colman Smith were born and died Catholic, so there's an obvious reason why these images of angels and and illustrations from passages in the Bible get mimicked, if you like. So the Judgment card depicts the rapture. You have here what I believe, and what many people believe, the Archangel Gabriel blowing on his trumpet, and everybody is called by it. Now that idea does chime well with the idea of Pluto for me. I'll tell you why in a moment. But yes, so this is just before the Last Judgment. This, as outlined in the Book of Revelation. The angel calls forth everybody, so everybody living and dead, everybody in limbo, they all come from their graves. They're about to be judged. They're about to find out whether or not they're going to go into heaven or not. And it's a joyous time for these people because a whole new life is being presented for them in many ways. Now, this idea of this call to action that cannot be ignored does vibe well with me, with what I believe Judgment means. Judgment for me is about power. This angel has power over everybody, living and dead. So the idea of power, the idea of some sort of renewal, vibes well with me. And this is where I really do drop anchor on the astrological association, and I associate the card of Judgment with the planet Pluto. Pluto being quite forceful. It's a higher vibration of Mars in many sense. So this idea of force, this idea of not being able to resist it, this idea of rebirth and reawakening. There's also a sense, there's almost a tower vibe going on with the Judgment card. But yeah, so the Pluto energy is, for me, the predominant energy when interpreting the Judgment card and how it gets read in a spread. Judgment comes out reversed or ill-dignified. Perhaps you're not answering this call to action when you really should. Perhaps this call to action is for something that will not serve you in a dignified or profound way. Perhaps other things are being called that don't deserve your attention as the important things. That sounds a bit oblique, I agree, but there's a lot of depth to the Judgment card, which is why I much prefer the top depiction of the Aeon. And you can seek out that video. It should be out there, or will be at some point. And hopefully I'll go into the idea of the Judgment card in a lot more depth. It's worth noting that Judgment is card 20. We're right at the end of the archetypes of the major arcana. You have the world, the completion next. But before you do, you need that final push, that final force, that final change and a rebirth. So yeah, not an image I'm a fan of, and it's unusual for me not to be a fan of Waite Smith images, because there is a lot of symbolism, and there's a lot of profound things going on in the Waite Smith Tarot. But Judgement, unfortunately, isn't really one of them for me. So yeah, there's the Judgement card from the Waite Smith Tarot. Boom!